Strength has never been born in comfort. It is not forged in warm rooms, gentle words, or the applause of others. It is forged in betrayal, in rejection, in the silent nights where no one comes to save you. This world does not reward the kind. It rewards the relentless. Fairness is a myth whispered to keep men obedient, while power bends only to those unbreakable enough to seize it. The truth is harsh. Nobody cares about your pain. Nobody hands you freedom. Nobody crowns you king. You either rise through fire or you are consumed by it. And if you wish to ascend, you must stop waiting for mercy. You must stop asking for permission. The path begins with ruthless clarity. No savior is coming. You save yourself or you remain forgotten. The first foundation of strength is brutal acceptance. You must see the world exactly as it is, stripped of illusion, stripped of comfort. No one is coming to rescue you. Not your family, not your friends, not the state, not even fate itself. The man who waits for salvation condemns himself to slavery. Hope without action is chains. Acceptance without illusions is liberation. When you finally accept that you stand alone, you discover the raw truth. Everything in your life is a direct consequence of what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you fail to control. The second foundation is savage responsibility. This means you claim ownership of every outcome, whether victory or failure. Weak men blame circumstances, leaders, or enemies. Strong men shoulder the full weight of their destiny. They say, if it happens in my life, it is on me. That creed is not comfortable, but it is powerful. It strips away excuses, forces clarity, and ignites action. When you accept savage responsibility, every defeat becomes a lesson. Every betrayal becomes training. Every obstacle becomes fuel. This is the dividing line between those who rise and those who vanish into obscurity. Without brutal acceptance, you will remain asleep in illusions. Without savage responsibility, you will forever hand your power to others. But when you carry both within you, you transform into something dangerous, a man who cannot be manipulated, cannot be broken, cannot be stopped. Remember this the moment you say, "No one saves me, I save myself." Your transformation begins. That sentence is not just words. It is the birth of sovereignty. Rule 1. Discipline is freedom. Most men misunderstand freedom. They imagine it as the ability to do whatever they want, whenever they want, as if life were a banquet of endless choices. But that is not freedom. It is slavery to impulse. The man who obeys every desire is no different from a drunk stumbling wherever the bottle leads him. True freedom belongs only to the disciplined because discipline means command. When your body obeys your mind, when your habits serve your vision, when your hours bend to your will, that is liberation. Discipline is not punishment. Though weak men see it that way, it is architecture. It is the invisible structure that carries you through chaos. It is waking before dawn, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. It is training when no one watches, studying when no one applauds. Building yourself brick by brick when the world sleeps. Each act of discipline is a brick in the fortress of your future. And the man who is disciplined does not tremble before storms because his house is built on stone. Understand this. Motivation is fleeting. Passion is unstable, but discipline is eternal. It is the oath you renew every morning. Whisper it to yourself until it becomes marrow in your bones. Discipline is my freedom. Rule 2. Relentless focus. If discipline is the foundation, focus is the blade. Weak men fail not because they lack intelligence, but because their minds are scattered like dust in the wind. They chase every distraction, every fleeting opportunity, never pressing long enough to break through. But the strong man learns the art of narrowing his vision. He chooses one direction, one mission, and burns into it with such intensity that resistance collapses. Focus is power amplified. It turns scattered effort into a laser. It transforms ordinary work into extraordinary results. To guard your focus, you must treat your attention as sacred ground. Every moment wasted on trivial entertainment, on gossip, on the opinions of lesser men is a theft from your destiny. Ask yourself with brutal honesty, does this action pull me closer to the man I must become, or does it drain me? If it drains you, cut it away without mercy. Greatness is not achieved by doing everything. It is achieved by doing the right things with ruthless precision. The world respects the man who moves with clarity, who cannot be distracted, who walks forward while others wander in circles. Say it, write it, burn it into your creed. My focus is my fortress. Rule 3. Forge unshakable resilience. Even the disciplined and the focused will face storms. Life does not spare the strong, it tests them harder. Setbacks, betrayals, failures, humiliations. These are the crucibles in which resilience is forged. Resilience is not avoiding hardship. It is rising every single time hardship strikes. The weak collapse at the first blow, crying that life is unfair. The strong endure, adapt, and sharpen themselves against adversity. Remember, diamonds form under pressure. Mountains rise from violent collisions. Why should you be any different? Every trial you face is a form of resistance, training for your soul. Pain is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Resilience is the armor of the mind, the steel of the spirit. It is the inner voice that whispers, I will not stop here. When the world expects you to fold, stand tall. When fear commands you to retreat, step forward. Do this long enough and nothing outside of you will ever have the power to break you. The man with resilience is not merely surviving, he is untouchable. Because no setback can erase his momentum, no storm can end his march. This is why resilience is not weakness. It is invincibility. Etch it into your being. I rise through every storm. Ba Kui Tak Do, discipline builds the foundation. Focus sharpens the blade. Resilience forges the armor. With these three, you are no longer a wanderer blown by chance. You are a force directed by will. Men will wonder why you do not fall when others collapse. They will whisper at your calm in chaos. And you will know the answer. You walk under laws they refuse to obey. Rule 4. Consistency. The silent force. Greatness does not come in a single act of brilliance. It does not arrive in one burst of passion or one night of effort. Greatness is the echo of countless disciplined days stacked together, the invisible rhythm of consistency that forges destiny. Talent without consistency is wasted potential. Ambition without consistency is a fading spark. But relentless, daily, disciplined consistency is the ultimate weapon. Think of water carving through stone, not by force, not by speed, but by persistence. The man who shows up every day, who trains when no one applauds, who builds when no one watches, becomes inevitable. His progress compounds silently until one day his presence can no longer be denied. This is why consistency separates the ordinary from the exceptional. Do not mistake consistency for perfection. You will stumble. You will fail. You will have days where progress feels invisible. But showing up again and again plants seeds beneath the soil. Eventually, those seeds break through with unstoppable force. Understand, this momentum is the child of consistency, and inevitability is the child of momentum. Whisper it until it burns in your bones. Consistency makes me unstoppable. Rule 5. Solitude. Strength in silence. Most men fear solitude because it strips away their illusions. Alone, there is no applause, no validation, no one to carry the weight. Alone, the masks fall. And that is precisely why solitude is power. It forces you to confront yourself, to face the man in the mirror without excuse. Solitude is not emptiness, it is the crucible of clarity. Philosophers shaped their wisdom in silence. Generals sharpened their strategies in solitude. Kings envisioned their empires away from the noise of the crowd. The man who embraces solitude is not running from the world, he is preparing to master it. When you stand strong alone, you are unbreakable, because your strength no longer depends on anyone else. No betrayal, no rejection, no storm can shake a man anchored in his own silence. Such a man radiates presence. He does not beg for attention. He does not fear being misunderstood. His power comes from within, and so it cannot be taken away. Do not confuse solitude with isolation. Isolation weakens, but solitude strengthens. One cuts you off from life. The other equips you to return to life with greater authority. Make solitude your ally, not your enemy. Use it to read, to train, to plan, to prepare. When others distract themselves, you sharpen yourself. Say it with conviction. Solitude is my power. Rule 6. Energy. The currency of life. Energy is life's invisible currency. It determines everything you can and cannot do. You may have ambition, you may have vision, but without mastery of your energy, all of it dissolves into nothing. Most men bleed energy without even realizing it. They squander it on endless scrolling, petty arguments, shallow pursuits. Death by 1,000 leaks. The strong man learns to command his energy with ruthless precision. He guards his mornings like sacred ground. He refuses to waste hours on resentment, gossip, or self-pity. He invests his vitality only into what builds him, his body, his craft, his purpose. Every action, every thought, every word either feeds or drains him, and he chooses deliberately. Energy is not only physical, it is mental, emotional, and spiritual. A man with high energy radiates presence. Others may not understand why, but they feel it when he enters the room. It is the aura of someone who channels his fire with discipline. The key is not to do more, but to do less better. Eliminate what weakens you. Double down on what strengthens you. Understand this, the warriors of history were not always the most skilled. They were the most alive, the most energized, the most aligned with their purpose. This is why energy multiplies everything else you are. Without it, your vision dies in silence. With it, your presence shakes the ground. Declare it as your creed. My energy obeys my purpose. Rule 7. Build an unshakable mind. All power begins in the mind. The body decays, fortunes rise and fall. Circumstances shift like sand. But the mind fortified, disciplined, sharpened, remains the throne of strength. The ordinary mind bends under stress, crumbles under fear, collapses under doubt. But the unshakable mind endures. It stands like a fortress, solid and immovable in its command. To build such a mind, you must begin with clarity. Know who you are. Know what you value. Know where you are going. Without clarity, the mind drifts like a ship without a rudder. With clarity, the mind cuts through fog like a blade. You must train your thoughts as you train your muscles. Do not indulge in weakness, fear, jealousy. Comparison, these are thieves that drain your empire. Replace them with strategy, resilience, vision. When chaos strikes, the weak panic, the strong calculate. When fear knocks the weak retreat, the strong prepare. An unshakable mind does not deny emotion, it masters emotion. Anger becomes fire for action. Pain becomes wisdom for the future. Every emotion is energy, and the wise bend that energy into power. Whisper this truth until it becomes your creed. My mind is my fortress. Rule 8. Forge the body into a weapon. A sharp mind trapped in a weak body is like a king imprisoned in chains, his vision vast, but his reach crippled. To be sovereign over yourself, you must forge your body into a weapon precise, disciplined, and unyielding. This is not about vanity or shallow appearance. It is about function, readiness, and presence. A strong body commands attention without words. Your stride, your posture, your frame. These speak before your tongue ever does. Physical strength is more than muscle. It is endurance, stamina, vitality. It is daily training until your body obeys your will without hesitation. Each repetition is not only physical, but psychological. Every drop of sweat whispers, I can endure. I can rise. I can conquer. The ancients understood this truth. Gladiators, samurai, legionnaires, they did not train for admiration. They trained for survival and dominance. You must adopt the same creed. Train not for looks, but for life. Lift to protect what is yours. Run to endure long struggles. Fight to ensure your spirit cannot be broken. The weak body drains the will, but the strong body fuels it. Declare it and live it. My body is my weapon. Rule 9. Master the art of legacy. Strength, discipline, resilience, focus, energy, solitude, clarity of mind, and a forged body. These build the man. But the strongest version of yourself is not measured only by what you achieve while alive, but by what remains when you are gone. Legacy is the crown of power. It is the shadow that walks long after you vanish. Legacy does not begin in grand speeches or dramatic victories. It begins in silence, in the small, consistent actions no one sees. It is built in how you raise your children, how you hold your standards, how you carry your discipline across decades. Legacy is not about being remembered by many. It is about being remembered deeply by those who matter. A father who teaches his sons strength and wisdom has built legacy. A leader who inspires others to rise beyond themselves has built legacy. A warrior who stands firm in adversity, showing others that storms can be endured, has built legacy. Legacy forces you to live with intention. It makes you weigh every action not by how it serves you today, but how it shapes tomorrow. Ask yourself, what will remain when I am gone? Will my work outlive me, or will I vanish without a trace? The man who lives with legacy in mind transcends distraction. He sacrifices today for a stronger tomorrow, and because of this, he cannot be erased. His strength is written into eternity. Make this your creed, I build what outlives me. Rule 10. Command time, command life. Time is the most ruthless of all forces. It cannot be bargained with, it cannot be slowed. Every second that passes either builds you or buries you. Weak men live as if time were infinite, scattering their hours on trivialities, indulging distractions, and then wondering years later why nothing has changed. The man who seeks strength understands this time is not money. Time is life. Money lost can be made again. Time lost is gone forever. To command time is to rise each morning with intention. It is to wield your hours like a blade, cutting away the meaningless, preserving only the essential. Guard your calendar as a general guards his battlefield. Every intrusion of mediocrity is an enemy at your gates. Every wasted hour is a fortress wall collapsing. You must ask yourself relentlessly, does this action bring me closer to the man I seek to become? If the answer is no, you cut it away without hesitation. Commanding time does not mean rigid schedules. It means aligning every hour with your highest purpose. A man who masters time multiplies his power across months and years, creating momentum that no rival can match. His life ceases to be accidental, it becomes inevitable. Etch this truth into your being. I command my time. I command my life. Rule 11. Surround yourself with strength. No man becomes great entirely alone. Solitude builds the foundation of self-mastery, but the company you keep either sharpens or destroys you. Human beings are shaped by the standards of their environment. Surround yourself with weakness, and weakness becomes your normal. Surround yourself with strength, and strength becomes your minimum. Mediocrity is contagious, so is greatness. Sit with men who waste their lives, and you will unconsciously absorb their defeat. Stand with men of discipline, vision, and purpose, and you will be pulled upward by their gravity. The wise man is ruthless with his environment. He chooses allies who challenge him, mentors who have walked the path, and brothers who refuse to accept weakness. This is not dependency. This is alliance. The iron sharpens iron. Brotherhood fuels resilience. Shared vision creates unstoppable momentum. And just as you seek strong men, you must become one yourself. Be the standard. Be the flame that strengthens others. For legacy is not only what you leave behind, it is the strength you awaken in those around you. Declare this as law. I walk with strength. I rise with strength. Rule 12. Become untouchable. This is where every rule converges. Discipline, focus, resilience, consistency, solitude, energy, clarity of mind, a forged body. Legacy, time, brotherhood. They are not fragments. They are pieces of a single truth. The strongest version of yourself is not an accident. It is not gifted. It is forged. And when it is forged, you become untouchable. To be untouchable does not mean avoiding struggle. It means struggle cannot break you. To be untouchable does not mean avoiding pain. It means pain cannot define you. To be untouchable is to bend yourself until you are immovable, inevitable, sovereign. Untouchable is the man who competes only with yesterday's reflection. Untouchable is the man who commands himself so completely that no rejection, no failure, no betrayal can diminish him. This is the final law, sovereignty over the self. And once you claim it, the world shifts. Obstacles shrink. Distractions fade. Fear loses its teeth. Others may not understand why you do not break, but they will feel it, and they will respect it. Speak it now as your creed, live it daily as your code. I am untouchable. When the 12 ruthless rules converge, something greater is born. They are not fragments to be chosen selectively. They are a system, a code, a crown. Discipline lays the foundation. Focus sharpens the blade. Resilience forges the armor. Consistency builds momentum. Solitude anchors clarity, and energy fuels the fire. The mind becomes a fortress, the body a weapon and legacy, a mark upon eternity. Time bends to your command, your circle strengthens your resolve, and in the end, you stand sovereign, untouchable. This is not a poetic ideal, it is a transformation. The storms of life will still come, but they will find no weakness to penetrate. Pain will still arrive, but it will no longer define you. Enemies will still plot, but they will break themselves against your presence. Untouchable is not about invincibility in the flesh, it is invincibility of the spirit. It is the state where no failure can erase your momentum, no betrayal can shake your will, no rejection can poison your destiny. Picture the world raging with chaos, men collapsing under pressure, opportunities dissolving into smoke, yet you stand unmoved, calm, steady, inevitable. That is the fruit of these laws. That is the reward for the man who chooses ruthlessness over illusion. Speak it until it brands your soul, I am untouchable. For when you believe it, live it, and embody it, the world itself must bow to the strength you have forged. You have now walked through the 12 ruthless rules, not as empty words, not as entertainment, but as a code of transformation. And now the question remains, what will you do with them? Will you let them fade as echoes in your mind, or will you carve them into your life until they become your law? Remember, no one will crown you. No one will save you. No one will hand you power. It is you and only you who must rise. Each creed you have spoken, discipline is my freedom. My focus is my fortress. I rise through every storm. I am untouchable. These are not slogans, they are your weapons, your armor, your throne. This is not the end. It is the beginning of sovereignty. If these words struck truth in you, then take your first act of discipline now. Comment your creed. Declare it publicly so weakness knows it no longer owns you. And if you are ready to walk this path with precision and fire, subscribe and step into a circle where strength is the only standard. You are not here to remain ordinary. You are here to become inevitable. Etch this into your soul. I am untouchable. Live it daily and watch as the world piece by piece bends to the man you have forged.